So we're just in a big crash in the Bitcoin price, around about $7,000 off of where it was at the beginning of yesterday. And if you're watching the market, you'll want to know why. And you might be thinking, is that the end for Bitcoin? Well, let's take a look. So what you're looking at here on the chart is what happened to Bitcoin from around about 1 p.m. UK time yesterday. So up the top here, $51,000. That's about 1 p.m. yesterday in the UK. And suddenly we get to here and wallop. That is not only a massive drop off in value, almost $7,000. It's an unnatural drop-off. It is a coordinated, it's quite clear to me, I'm not by any means a charting expert, by the way, but it's quite clear to me that that is an unnatural drop. That is coordinated and manipulated. And the fight back is instant. The market goes, whoa, hang on, there's no reason for this. And the Bitcoin fight back is pretty instant. But there's a lot of coordinated selling going on here. And it's the selling, if you know how to look this up, you can go and you can look at trades and you can see how much of a trade is being driven by just one wallet, for example. And there's a definite coordinated attempt here to push down the price of Bitcoin. And the question remains, why? If you look here at 7:04 a.m., if you look at 7 a.m. roughly UK time, that is 12 a.m. or midnight if you prefer in El Salvador. It's around about 7 hours behind us. And that's when El Salvador's day begins. And interestingly, spookily, the 8th of September, today, in El Salvador, is Bitcoin Day. And what does that mean? Well, it is today in El Salvador that Bitcoin becomes legal tender. And merchants, business people across El Salvador have to accept Bitcoin as legal payment. Now, don't you think it's a bit spooky that on literally the cusp of Bitcoin Day in El Salvador, there's this massive coordinated sell-off of Bitcoin, and it's across relatively few wallets when you actually dig in and you dig deep. The biggest single sell-off, I believe, was about $2.6 billion. And that $2.6 billion was liquidated literally within minutes. And again, Bitcoin, because this isn't a natural market move in any respect that I can see, is being, as ever, resilient and pushing back. And there's even this kind of final plunge that you can see here during the course of this morning to push harder to get the Bitcoin price down, but to no avail. It started, as we speak, to recover again. And the reason for that is because I don't think that we are in any way at the end of the current Bitcoin bull market. In fact, my personal prediction, for what it's worth, is that we won't see the end of the current bull market until we get into December. Now, if you think back to December 2017, there are big comparisons in a way between where we are now and where Bitcoin was in 2017. And it was around about the 17th of December 2017 when that last big Bitcoin bull run came crashingly to its end. And at that time, if you recall, Bitcoin hit around about $20,000 and then it just fell off the edge of the cliff for the balance of 2017 and into 2018. Is that likely to happen again at the end of this year? It's definitely a possibility. I can't predict exactly what's going to happen because I have no crystal ball. And the fact is that I could be completely wrong about that. Bitcoin may not actually turn into another bear cycle even now. But I don't think we're in a bear cycle now. We haven't turned. Bitcoin isn't suddenly going to start going down again, in my opinion. I think it will very quickly get back to $50,000. And I think there's no reason why it shouldn't move above that and go from strength to strength. So let me explain something else that kind of goes with this. As you have seen many times before, when Bitcoin does a belly flip, then generally the altcoin market goes with it. And you can see an absolute sea of red. Now, some of them are starting to recover as I speak. They're starting to pull back. And a good indicator is this 7-day percentage figure. And the 7-day percentage figure with Bitcoin is now literally down just 2%, which it can very easily recover. And a lot of the others, Ethereum is 2% and so on. Other altcoins like Cardano, XRP, to a degree, Dogecoin. I say to a degree because I still don't personally rate Dogecoin as anything other than a joke, but you know, they are showing bigger hits even now over the 7-day period. And that can be explained very simply by volumes. When you have a cryptocurrency, when you have an altcoin that has a lot of coins in the system, they always get hammered much harder than the coins with less number in the market. For example, Bitcoin, if we look at circulating supply, Bitcoin is estimated to have around about 18.8 million in circulation. Now, there are lots of theories about that. There are estimates that maybe 5 million of those actually don't exist anymore at all. They've been lost over the years. The fact is, it could be that there's only maybe 13 or 14 million Bitcoin in circulation. But either way, that pales into insignificance when compared to, for example, the 46.5 billion Ripple or XRP there are in the market. So when there's a push down on altcoins, the coins with the big circulating supply always get hammered the hardest because they're perceived to be weaker. And the thing is, every cryptocurrency on my watch list took a hit. Some are coming back quicker. Tron is coming back pretty quickly. Some are showing no signs of really coming back. Unfortunately, Tezos appears to be hit quite badly, and I love Tezos. I've got Tezos on my books, and it's a coin that I think has massive potential. That unfortunately doesn't seem to be coming back too strongly, but I think it will. Given time, it will. Now, everything is affected by Bitcoin. If you don't know this yet, then you really haven't been paying attention. I don't mean that disrespectfully. It's just that you see a big slide in Bitcoin price, altcoins invariably will reflect that. Now, sometimes some coins will go against the grain and they'll go in a different direction, and that's fine. But, you know, at the end of the day, generally they follow Bitcoin. This is kind of interesting here, molecular future. If you don't know what molecular future is, it doesn't really matter, but it's one of the coins associated with the group known as the Hyper Fund. And molecular future has hardly been impacted by this Bitcoin move at all. Again, I would point out a couple of reasons for that. One is the Hyper Fund group is very strong financially, or appears to be. And the other is, again, that they don't, in relative terms, have much of a circulating supply. 85 million coins, in crypto terms, by the way, is a small supply. It's not as small as Bitcoin with its ultimate 21 million, but it's pretty small compared to what most of the coins actually have. So I thought I would just point that one out. If you want more information about molecular future or the Hyperfund, by the way, by all means get in touch. My email address is at the bottom of the video, so you can send me an email if you want to know a little bit more about molecular future, the Hyperfund, etc. Now, as we go down this list, my watch list, you'll see that nothing has been immune to this big crash. Daisy launchpad tokens got hit very hard, but again, they will, because it's brand new. People don't really know about Daisy yet. Other people see the Bitcoin crash and they think, oh, I better sell some of these Daisy in case they really drop through the floor. I think, again, it's starting to pull back, if you can see the chart over here. But I'm not overly concerned about that one at all either. So the general point here is altcoins get hammered when Bitcoin gets hammered, and that's just a fact of life. And there's a fight ongoing right now with Bitcoin. We are still seeing kind of a relentless battle to fight back and get back on the straight and narrow. But we're now back in what I would call normal price movement zones for Bitcoin. So, my theory: Bitcoin Day in El Salvador leads to Bitcoin price manipulation. And I still think that in the main, we're in a bull cycle, and that you shouldn't be panicking about what's happening with Bitcoin, and thus what's happening with other altcoins in the market. Time will tell. Over the next few days, we may see a clearer picture. Just to finish, by the way, what has El Salvador's own reaction been to this sudden crash? Well, it says it right here. Crypto flash crash wipes out $400 billion in market value on Bitcoin Day as El Salvador's president buys the dips. And that, to me, pretty much says it all. You've just turned your economy inside out as the president of a country, and your reaction to a sudden massive crash in price is this: let's go buy more Bitcoin because we know where Bitcoin's going. And unlike me and you and lots of other people, the president of even a small country like El Salvador has resources to hand that obviously allow him to buy in and check expertise that's way beyond our wallets. So there you go. Another reason to back up my view that there's no problem with Bitcoin whatsoever. It's just the institution that doesn't like Bitcoin reacting as the institution always does. That's it for me. Thank you. Remember, do me a favor by subscribing to the channel and hitting the notification bell so you know about future videos. And if you would, give me a like for the video.